welcome everybody that's here, everybody that watches this. It seems like every time we go somewhere, we're making contacts for other things, meeting more people, bringing more people to the Word of God. We went to the Sober Project. Y'all seen it on Facebook. We talked to everybody here about it. I'm going to touch on it. I'm going to plug it a little bit because God's putting it on our hearts to kind of get involved with it. It's a 12-step program. It's a little bit different. It's faith-based. I don't have all the specifics on it right now, but we went to a meeting last night. And it's not your normal. I've been to an AA meeting, so I can relate to it. And it's not like an AA meeting. I went once. I was like 18. I went with a girl. No mistake. But anyway, it's not like that. They don't sit there and they don't browbeat you and have you admit and claim something that you're not anymore. They don't sit there and say they don't make you stand up and say my name's Preacher and I'm an alcoholic, or my name's Preacher and I'm on heroin. It's nothing like that. They had people shared some testimonies or something's going on, and it was at a church, so it was faith-based, and it was different. But a few people said, I'm so and so, I had this issue, or we're praying for this, and this and that, and it was almost like a support group, almost. It's really hard to describe. But one of the key factors that I like about it, which is a big selling point for me, other fact that it does help these people, is you get crosses. And my wife got hers, I got mine, and Lisa got hers. They had us go up and do the walk for it. They explained each one. I couldn't tell you which one's which, other than like the first one and the last one. But they're you put them on a chain around your neck, and I think that's a really good idea because these people are coming there and they're getting saved. It's not just a program. They're coming there. They're getting the Word of God. They're getting to know God. They're part of the 12-step program. It covers that. And you get these crosses, and they had us come up and get the crosses that we. So we could see how the process works. And it's amazing. The first one's a red cross, and it can be for, and he said it can be for 30 minutes sober, an hour sober. It's generally like your first one, and they're on a chain. I'll show you guys. I'll have you real close, but they're really cool, different ones. This is the last one you get for a year plus. This is the first one that's got 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months. But I think it's really cool versus a coin. I'm not going to bag on anybody because everybody has their own way of doing it. But I think it's really cool because you can wear it, and it's a conversation starter. Whether, it's on, their beliefs or, like, oh, that's, because how women are, oh, that's such a pretty cross, or, I think, oh, yeah, I got this because I'm in the Sober Project, because I was an addict. They don't say I am an addict. It was I was an addict, whether you stopped or not. And it's great, and it was a good feeling to go up there. I've been sober from drugs since I was 18. I used to lay all the credit on my ex-wife. That was me. I think she planted the seed, and it was God. I wouldn't admit to it back then, but God had a big part to play in it. That's why I stayed off the drugs. I was never really an alcoholic, so to say. I mean, everybody has their own different terms of saying what an alcoholic was. And I had my slumps where, I would wake up and I would drink, things going on in my life. But it wasn't every day, it wasn't daily, and it never affected my work. Because when I knew I had to go to work, I stopped. I limited myself. No more than 3 cans of beer, 3 bottles of beer. When I knew I had to go to work. Most of the time I didn't drink because I knew I had to go to work and I didn't want to jeopardize myself or the people that I work with because if I go to work drunk or messed up and I hurt myself, that's on me. But if I go to work and hurt or kill somebody, then most of the jobs that I've had was around big machinery, bigger than this house, bigger than most buildings. Whether it was crushers, whether it was heavy equipment, moving the dirt, any situation like that, you can get you can get killed real quick. Cause, one of the things that they always taught us, and I thought it was kind of ridiculous after hearing it, but yeah, it made a lot of sense, is this equipment that you're working around has no feelings. There's no forgiveness. It's not going to say, oh, I smashed your finger, let me stop. You know, when you got these big agglomerators turning or these crushers crushing the rock, they're not going to stop. They're not going to know because they're doing their job. And, you know, say in the sense of a crusher is crushing a rock, well, you're just a rock, you know. A very soft rock, but you're a rock, and there's no forgiveness. And it's just a thing to keep you focused, to keep your mind open, that you got something in the back of your head. Hopefully it's Jesus in the back of your head telling you what's going on. But anyway, as we get more information on the Sober Project and stuff like that, because it seems like more and more people are just, you know, they have addictions, and I'm not going to list addictions, and I'm not condemning people for their addictions, because I want these people to reach out to us. Even right now, reach out to us. We don't have the program started, but we can point you in the right direction. And it's a really good group of people. You know, we were there. This lady, I don't even know why she was there. Half these people, I don't know why they were there, but they were there. Nonetheless, it's none of my business. But she brought this kid with her, and this kid was living in the alley behind her house. I'm not really going to go into a whole lot of details, but you know, he just got out of jail, and you know, had a hard life and down life. You know, we've all been there. And you know, she saw him. She's like, "Hey, I'm going to this place. Come on." You know, they wound up giving him food, and he made contacts where he was going to get in with Kodak for work and for housing and stuff, because the house he was living in with his so-called relatives was a crack house. And he didn't want to be in that situation anymore. He wanted to be out of it because it was, you know, he was jeopardizing his life. But anyway, he gave his life to Christ. You know, he was hesitant, and Pastor Larry, I'll give him a plug too. You know, he didn't force it. He'd say, "Oh, come on, man, come on, you're going out." He basically said, you know, like what we do too. You know, you know where you're going. If you were to die right now, where are you going? And you know, he didn't have an answer for it. You know, he said, "I'm probably going to go to hell." And you know, we all agreed because, you know, what he talked to him, and he wasn't condemning him. You know, he said, "It's up to you. You can come up here, say this little simple prayer with me, give your life to Christ. Your life's going to change." Or, you know, you can stay there where you're at and not sure where you're going to go, if you're going to go to heaven or hell. Yes, the kid believed in God. You know, he was wearing a rosary with a cross on it. But, you know, that doesn't mean anything, you know, just because somebody's wearing a cross. You know, as we found out before from when we were doing the street ministry up in Mesa. And that kid got saved up there too. Kind of similar story. You know, it's because people are coming from these different backgrounds, you know, and I'm not going to, you know, say it's a certain race of people or a certain type of people. We've all been there. I've been there. You know, as white as I am, I've been there. You know, and that's kind of like, that's what my sermon's about tonight. And it's not to beat anybody up or convict anybody about your sin or what you do or your addiction. It's to open your eyes, open your heart, open your mind. That way God can help you. And that's what we're here for. You know, we're not here to condemn you. We're not. Anybody who knows us, has seen our videos, and talked to us, know we're not like any other church around. You know? And it's not for us to judge you. Our job is to love you. Our job is to bring you to Christ, show you the way to Christ. And what you do with that is, you know, up to you. The title of my sermon tonight is going to be "Lose Your Soul." Don't lose your soul. How not to lose your soul. However, you want to do it. We're going to start in Matthew 16. I'm not even set up tonight. Imagine that. In Matthew 16:26. And there's a lot more scriptures that go with this, a lot more verses. You know, with this, I picked this one out because it goes with the sermon, and God said, you know what, you need to start here. But there's so much more to read that goes along with this. For what is a man profited if he shall gain the world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? So with that being said, you know, we've all been there, you know, followed the world for whatever reason because we wanted to be cool. I started smoking. I'm not going to admit the age when I started smoking, but it was to be cool to hang out with cool kids, you know, people that were like-minded like me. We like the same music, heavy metal. I still like to listen to it. 80s hair bands. You can laugh at me all you want, but that's back when there was music. Some of the stuff nowadays is good, don't get me wrong. I like some of it too. But, you know, we were hanging out, we were, you know, we were the bad kids, the outcasts, because we all came from diverse backgrounds, but we all came basically from the same background as our parents were divorced, you know, remarried, rooted from where we were living at, you know, didn't care anymore, wasn't worried about what the world was thinking about us. Tell you how far back this was. We were wearing dog chains around our necks, not the leather collars, but the chains. We were wearing chains around our wrists. Yeah, I used to dress like that. That's why I'm so comfortable dressing this way, I guess. But the common factor that we all had and we all have nowadays is, for some reason, we lose contact with God. For whatever reason, you know, whether it's the death of a loved one, or we're not taught to love God. We get mad because we think God did something to us because that's what we're taught. There's so many reasons, you know, and we start falling away from God. Well, we start getting a hole in our heart, and we're trying to fill it with things, you know, a new car, a bigger house, you know, a boat, a trike, a motorcycle, you know, money, because we think this is what's going to make us happy, when actually God's the one who makes us happy. And the devil uses that empty space, and he manipulates you that way, you know, because you're trying to fill it. You're trying to fill it, and you're trying to fill it, and you're not going to fill it. Because you're going to wind up losing your soul. The devil's going to take over your body. Everybody's heard this story. I'm going to tell it again because I think everybody needs to hear it again. And yes, you're going to be shocked coming from somebody in my stature, but I was ready to sell my soul to the devil. For a simple $50,000 bass boat. Because, yes, I enjoy fishing. I love bass fishing. Don't get me wrong. But I was doing it because of the money that they were making. Because I knew if I was making more money, I would be happier. And the way I would be happier is because I would be buying more things. You know? And everybody has their own way of putting it, that, you know, what I see on Facebook, these memes and everything that people make, and some of it makes sense. But we're all losing the big picture. You know? It's like, oh, money can't buy happiness. Well, I never seen anybody sad in a decent truck. Sorry, I'm happy. But the main focus is, you know, we just have this desire to be bigger, better, and it's good. I'm not saying that you can't better yourself and get out of the situation that you're in, because it's always good, but you don't want to go too big. You know? And we all want the money, we all want the power, we all want the prestige, the glory, blah, blah, blah that goes with it. But does that sound familiar to anybody? Where do we get that from? That's the key. Where do we get that from? And if you all will turn over to Isaiah 14, I will explain it to you. The Isaiah 14:12 through 15. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. That's where we get it from. We get it from Lucifer. We get it from Satan. keeper of hell, the devil. Um, you know, whatever you want to say, little twerp. I mean, I could go on and call him a whole bunch of names, but that's where we get it from. Because that's why Lucifer was kicked out of heaven. He was God's right-hand man. He was one of the go-to angels. But he wanted more power. He wanted more glory. And that's what we're going after. And we get that from the devil. And the devil knows that, we always strive to be better than ourselves, which is fine. I strive to be better than I was yesterday. Tomorrow I'm going to strive to be better than I was today. But it's the material things that's going to cause you the most issue, cause you the problems. It's going to keep you out of heaven because it's where your heart is. And I had to learn this from listening to a preacher who was talking about it, listening to God talk about it, and actually my wife, believe it or not, she was right for once. But don't tell her I said that. But the point that I'm getting is we can have these material things, all these things in the world, and and sometimes we get in a spot where it's really hard because we're growing up. Oh, this is what I want. This is the kind of car I want. And from a young age we're taught this, and it's like there's nothing wrong with that. But it's where your heart is. I used to say, and I still say, and I have to catch myself, about my truck. I love my truck because I wanted, it's everything I want. A diesel, 4-wheel drive, blows black smoke. It's loud, obnoxious, annoying, kind of like my wife. Now you guys know why we're married. Except for it's taller than she is. But the fact is, that's what I wanted. That's what I had my heart set on, and I got it. I got it because of God. The devil made a way, and it was there, and I was doubting the fact that I was going to get it. I didn't even know it was there. The car lot I was at, it was at a shop, and he's like, well, I got this, this Dodge Diesel. Why don't you come in and look at it? And I said, okay. I said, well, and he said, I'll have it back here on Monday. So I went home, got on the internet, and I looked up there, and they had pictures of this truck, and I fell in love. It's got two 10-inch subwoofers under the back seat, and CD player. Everything a little boy's dreams come true. And I was like, that's it. That's the truck I want. And lo and behold, I got it, and I still have it. The first vehicle that I ever actually financed that I actually owned. That didn't get repossessed, didn't burn to the ground, didn't get stolen. Things out of my control. But my heart was always on my truck. That was my truck. I love my truck. No matter what happened with the truck, I would never get mad. I'd never get upset because it was my truck and I loved it. But my heart was on this truck. And once it sank in and my eyes were open, it's like, hey, you know what? Your heart's on this material thing. You should be on God. Not to say that it wasn't on God. But, instead of being wholeheartedly with God, it was like on something else. And, I got the truck because a whole bunch of reasons. Because it was fast, and, I could blow black smoke all over people, and, I could just be a big jerk in a big truck. And, not really that word, but we'll go with that word. And it was cool, and everybody's like, oh, I love your truck, and, yeah, me too. But I learned that, material things and, where your heart is, it's different. Your life's going to change, I want a bigger house. I'm not saying, I'm not condemning anybody saying you can't have these things. But don't have your heart on them. Because once that's where your heart is, that's when the devil comes in and he takes control, and you're in trouble. And it's, my wife put it in a perspective and she made a lot of sense. It's these people that are addicts, they're chasing the high, they don't know anything else. That's why we went and we fed these people because they were homeless. What little bit of money they had, they were going to buy whatever they needed instead of buying food. That's why we went to the hotel You know, that's why we give, because these people need to eat too. And you know what? I don't like the sin. I don't like the fact that, you know, they're doing this, but you know what? I'm not judging them. I'm loving them. Because that's our job. That's what we need to do. You know, and they're entangled with these demons. And you know, all it takes is a show of kindness, a show of love. You know, somebody saying, "Hey, hey, I'm preacher. I'm with the Revelation Disciples Motorcycle Ministry. You know, Brown's Ministry. Kenny, forgive me, I can't remember the name of yours. I'll get it though. But you know, we're from these different groups, and we come together to bring you food. And you know, Jesus Christ, and can we pray over you for anything? You know, or you know, and we're not forcing them down the throat, because if they say no, we're good. Okay, take all the food you want. You know, because I'm not going to say, well, no, you don't want God. Well, I'm not going to feed you, because God didn't do that. Jesus didn't do that. Come on, everybody knows the story. He fed the multitude with what? 5 loaves and 2 fishes, and he fed 40,000 people. Who can do that? I can do that. Why? Because Jesus gave me that power. I have the authority to do that. We can do that. And why are we not doing that? Because we're afraid. We're hiding behind everybody else instead of stepping out in faith and saying, you know what, this is my belief. This is what this book right here tells me I can do. And, you know, we're worried about, well, what's my neighbor going to think? What's my coworker going to think? What are my friends going to think? You know what? I don't care what my friends think. You know what? The only thing I care about is if they're going to go to the same place I am or not. But they're the only ones that can take themselves there. You know, I can't force it down your throat. It was forced down my throat most of my life. You know, well, you got to do right. You got to do by the God. And God's going to do this. You know what? And a lot of it was wrong. And I learned that after being a parent. I'm going to tell you this story. This guy I used to work with, he had before I met him, before he got this job, he was clean. He was an addict. He was driving down the interstate, and he was on meth, because he was trying to stay awake to get this load done. And he saw a pink pig out the window of his truck. And he started racing this pink pig. And he said the next thing he knows, he's waking up the next day. So he's crawling out of the sleeper of his truck, you know, because he was in a rest area and he was going to go to the bathroom or whatever. And as he's getting out of his truck, something caught his eye. Well, it was a train sitting across behind the rest area and it had a big pink pig on it. So, you know, I don't know if he was actually chasing him down the road or it was what he seen before he went to sleep, but you know, that's the kind of things that drugs will do to you. You lose your mind, you lose your focus, and you know, that's why there's so many accidents. There's another guy I worked with. He was actually on parole, and but they hired him anyway. He was a really great guy. He spent 15 years in the state penitentiary because of manslaughter. He was driving a semi-truck. A drunk driver pulled out in front of him. He hit the drunk driver, killed him. He went to jail for manslaughter because he was under the influence of drugs. You know, still 2 wrongs don't make a right. You know, and there would have been, from the way he described it, and I know the intersection in the town that it happened in, and the way it happened, the way he said it did, if it happened that way, there's no way he could have stopped even if he was sober. But he wouldn't have went to jail for it because, you know, it would have been manslaughter. But the devil's always back in the back of your mind telling you stuff, you know, whispering, you know, this, and, you know, oh, look at this new car, and you look really good in that new car, and, you know, oh, well, you know, you guys need a bigger house because you have all these kids, or you know what, so-and-so just bought a bigger house, so you need to go buy one bigger than theirs. You know what, I'd be happy in a one-room shack out in the middle of nowhere, to be honest with you, myself. But if God wants to provide me a mansion, I'm not going to turn it down. You know, as long as it's on about 40 acres with nobody around, even better. But, you know, and that's not where my heart's going to be. And, you know, I'm not saying I want a bigger house because this house is pretty good size. I mean, come on, we can hold the church in. Plus, we still have a living room left, you know, so it's not like taking all the room. And I think God's, He's still working on me. I mean, we all need work. We all need help. Um, but I'm trying to find out what it is and what's blocking me from getting this strike. Uh, and I haven't figured it out yet, and I've been trying to figure it out for the past 2 weeks. And I know it's going to come, and I know we can all go through the Bible. We can find all these people that waited on God, and God told them something was going to happen. And His timing is perfect. And what makes it so hard is He's already been forward. He's coming back to where we are. And we're trying to go forward to where He is. But sometimes we get there before He does. And, I don't want to block my blessings. I don't want to stop it, and I don't want to pray in vain over it. But it's coming because it's already been promised. Let's go to Matthew 4, 8 through 11. Because this ties in actually perfect. There's more to this too. I almost want to read. You know what? I'm going to read it all. Because it ties in, and I want you to see and understand how the devil works. So we're going to start in Matthew 4, 3, and we're going to read 3 through 12. And when the tempter came to him, he said, If thou be the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread. The tempter, and this was the devil. I noticed he said, If thou be the Son of God. Because see, the devil didn't know that he was the Son of God or not. So he could say, well, you're the Son of God, do this, just in case he wasn't. We all know the story, we all know that he was. But the point is the devil didn't know that. But he answered and said, It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. Then the devil taketh them into the holy city and setteth them up on a pinnacle of the temple, which is the highest part. Up on the steeple, wherever. And saith unto him, If thou be the Son of God, cast thyself down, for it is written, He shall give His angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. And Jesus said unto him, It is written, Again, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. And again, the devil taketh him up into exceedingly high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them. And he saith unto him, All these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. See, that's the devil right there giving you these things, showing you this stuff. He did it to Jesus. And we'll finish this up, and then I'll get back to preaching. Then saith Jesus unto him, Give thee hence, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and Him only thou shalt serve. Then the devil leaveth him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him. So, see, Jesus knew who the devil was, but the devil didn't know who Jesus was. We don't know who Jesus is. We're going by pictures that we see, images of what, He might look like. But the point is He that person that's sitting on the street corner begging for money? Is that an angel? Are you being tested? You're on this walk of faith, this walk with God. You're like, God, whatever comes in my way, I'll be there. I'll be able to handle it because I have you. But then He puts this homeless person in front of you, or this person needing help, or the person in front of you trying to check out and their card's not working, or anything like that. Are you going to answer the call when He calls you? It's not that hard, but we got to put our pride aside and just do it. And the devil's going to be in the back of your mind telling you not to do it. He's going to find reasons for you not to do it, ways not to do it. And then after he rebuked the devil, angels came and ministered to him. See, that's what we got to do. And they'll come down. We just have to be willing. The only thing that we need is God's love, and that will fill the hole in our heart. Because that's what we're trying to do, whether it's, drugs, money, whatever it is, we're trying to fill that hole. But once we come to find God, that hole gets filled. Once the Holy Spirit comes in, And sometimes it's a process because we don't want it because it's something new. We feel that it's scary. Um, a lot of people don't like change because change is scary. It's the devil. He's causing the fear. You know, have you noticed all the bad stuff that happens to you or stuff that I'm telling you comes from the devil? Because it does come from the devil. Because God gives you peace, love, joy, and long suffering. So if it's not that, then it's hate, fear, sin, greed, jealousy, on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Drugs and alcohol and cigarettes and pornography and the list goes on forever. So that's all stuff from the devil. So you need to work on cutting it out of your life. I've been there, the alcohol, the sex, the porn, when I was younger, the drugs, but the only thing I changed from my teenage years to my adulthood up until I found Jesus Christ was drugs. That's the only thing I didn't have in my life. I had the alcohol, I had the sex, I had the pornography, I had the women, the running around, adultery, all that. I did that. I was there. Been there, done that. And the only reason where I am is because God saved me. Because if it wasn't for Him, I sure in hell wouldn't be here right now. I would be in hell. But He's the only one that kept me alive. Because of the really stupid stuff I used to do growing up. Because, you come from a hick town, you ain't got nothing to do with a front with a four-wheel drive and a car hood and a rope and a wash. How fast can you go down through the wash? Say we got going pretty fast. We got scars. We did all this stuff. Kids nowadays think, oh, this is cool. You know what? I'm glad we didn't have, cameras and portable cameras like we're using here, or cell phone cameras when I was growing up. Because I tell you what, I'd probably be in prison still. Because of the stupid stuff that we did. Or on America's Stupidest People or something like that because of, the things that we did. And no, I'm not proud of what we did. I'm proud of the fact that I'm standing here and I'm telling you about what we did. Or, well, not about what we did, but the thing, the stupidity that we did. I'm sure there's a bunch of people that are going, man, see what, when I watch YouTube or stuff people post on Facebook, I start laughing. It's like, these kids are so stupid. These people are so stupid. One of the things going around right now, they're stealing Trump signs. That's a felony. Whether you believe it or not, that's a felony. So, these people are taking pictures. I told it's Trump sign. Nobody's stealing the Hillary Clinton sign because nobody can find them. Because there are none. There probably is, but I'm just saying. But we know who I'm voting for, who I voted for. But the point is, as these kids do the stupid stuff and they take pictures of it. Everybody's got a cell phone now, so, everybody's, oh, I saw so-and-so doing this here. Oh, you're getting in a fight here. And they always seem to catch the right people at the wrong time. And I'm going to get caught, and I'm going to, somebody's going to find something about me, and they're going to slander it all over. Listen, why find something, ask me, and I'll tell you. But they don't understand. Oh, well, you're a minister, you shouldn't be that way. You're right. 100% agree with you. But you know what? We all get in the flesh sometimes. We all forget where we're supposed to be at. And, it gets hard. My wife was telling me about some incidences and stuff that were going on. I'm not going to get into it, but, I just looked at it and I said, what would happen if that was me? She goes, yeah, if that was you, it would turn out a lot different. And I don't need to be that way, and it's just something about me. I'm trying to get rid of it, and, everybody has their own way of handling stuff. I'm not saying my way is the right way or my way is the wrong way, because I guarantee you, 90% of the time, if you knew what was in my head, you'd be like, no, that's the wrong way. Yeah, I know. That's why I've never been in jail. I've been arrested. I've been in the back of cop cars. I've never been in jail. The only time I've been inside a jail is delivering food when I was younger or visiting people. It's the only time I've been in jail. But yes, I have had handcuffs on and I have been in the back of the car. Not that I'm proud of it. Most of the time it's over stupid stuff. And if I added up the times that I should have been arrested, the cops let me go for because God said let it go. You know, it's numerous. And I thank God for that. Let's go to Matthew 16:27. The last one, we'll finish this up and we'll get into some serious worship. I know everybody's dying to worship. And this right here is going to sum it up. This is going to hopefully this opens up a lot of people's eyes, a lot of people's hearts. But this right here is going to sum up everything. Pretty much how your life should be. And it's not hard. You can change, but you have to want to change. I can't change you. My wife can't change you. The preacher at the church can't change you. God can't change you unless you want to change. For the Son of Man shall come in the glory of his Father with his angels, and then he shall reward every man according to his works. Once you give your life to Christ and you're born again, your past is erased. My past doesn't exist. Everybody tries to dig up my past. You know what? I never lived in the past. Why? Because it's in the past. Even before I was born again, even before I was saved, I always lived my life. Because you know what? My past mistakes were my mistakes. There were things that I needed to learn, and there was a lot of things that I did in my life that I regretted. That's why I hid my past. And I've always had people try to dig my past up. And, you know, that's why I think being born again has really been easy for me in that aspect. Even though the devil likes to whisper in your ear and bring up, you know, really stupid stuff. You remember that time, or you remember this time, or you know that person, and you know this is going on, and that's, you know what? And that's where we start to slip, and that's where we start to fall. And the devil's sitting there smiling, rubbing his hands together, going, I got him. But the devil gets mad when I stop and say, no, devil, not this time. And if I done something wrong, I ask for forgiveness. And if it's something that I know that I can control, that I can't do again, because we all have to learn and we all have to take steps. And if it's something that I know I'm not going to do again, I'll repent for it. And I'll be like, God, I'm sorry. You know, I shouldn't have called that person a so-and-so, or, you know, a such and such, and told them where to go and how to get there. You know, that was just wrong. I don't know what come over me. And God's sitting there going, what are you talking about? Because he done forgot about it. It's not because he has a short-term memory. Why is he going to hang something over your head and make you feel like an idiot for the rest of your life, or make you feel stupid, or make you get mad at yourself every time something happens that's out of your control? Because he's not that way. But we're not even programmed that way. We're not made that way. It's society. It's people that make us that way. And it's the devil, because he's constantly in the back of your head. If you keep falling in the same hole, you need to seek God more so he can guide you around the hole. It doesn't matter what that hole is. You know, and I'm not going to sit here and keep hounding on people and make people think I'm, you know, picking on them. I'm not. We all have holes that we fall in. Whether it's with our anger, with addiction, whether it's with pornography, whether it's with our parents, whether it's with our spouse, whatever it is that the devil knows that he can get to you, he's going to use that. He's going to dig that hole, and he's going to lay and he's going to try to hide it. But if you're ready to move on and move past that because you're tired of falling in that hole, seek God, and God's going to say, hey, the devil put a hole right there, go around it. And you're going to walk up and go, oh, hey, there is a hole there. And you're going to walk around it. You know? Say, oh, God, thank you. I didn't want to fall back in that hole again. But granted, the devil's going to try it again. It may be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 months. It might be 30 seconds. You never know with the devil. And he might try it again. But if you're already with God, then God, don't let me fall in those kind of holes anymore. God, I'm done being mad. God, I don't want to fall in that hole anymore. He's going to guide you around it. But granted, sometimes you're going to fall in it. It happens. You know? And then that's when you get yourself up, you apologize to God, you ask for forgiveness. God's going to say, for what? And you're going to feel like an idiot. But it's a learning process and a curve. And you know what? It's not going to be simple. Trust me, it's difficult. I've been in that situation. My wife's probably told you a little bit about when I'm driving. And I still have tendencies that I really pray to God when it happens so it doesn't happen. Um, the biggest thing I don't like is people getting off or on the freeway. They either do it way too slow or way too fast. You do it 65 miles an hour. It's called an acceleration ramp for a reason. You need to accelerate to that speed of the freeway. I don't care if they're doing 120. And it's called a deceleration ramp. You don't decelerate until you get on that ramp. Granted, the way some of them are set up in Tucson, it's ridiculous. I agree with you people. You know, but that's something that I'm getting a lot better about, because before I was telling them they were all number one and I was on the horn and I was trying to run them into the wall. To be honest with you, I was that person. Especially when I was driving a 26,000 pound tow truck. It was like, you want me to move over? No, you're a moron. You know, I'm being honest with you people. I've been there. I was that person. You know, and another thing I hate is when you want to pass me at 70 miles an hour and a 65, and you want to get in front of me and slow down to 45 because you're on your phone. That used to bother me. I would just, these people that did this to me need to thank God. That God was right there and controlled me. This is before I was saved. Because I was ready. Because when I would get up to pass them and I would see them looking down like this on their cell phone, that's when I wanted to bump their car and wake them up. No, it's not right. You know, and I need the consequences. But it's the fact that I can't. My wife gets so mad at me. We'll be sitting in a red light, her phone will go off, and I'll yell at her, tell her, don't touch your phone. I don't care if we're sitting in a red light, don't touch your phone. You know, I do it all the time. No, not with me, you're not going to do it. I don't. I will say I never do it. I have done it, and I do it occasionally. But it's not I stare at it. Oh, my phone's ringing. You can wait. I know I can call you back. I don't sit there, and try to answer the phone and fumble around. My grandparents had a towing company when I was growing up. And there was this girl. They had a gas station in Snapper. There was this girl, she was in high school. And she wound up wrecking her truck into a parked bus. I knew the girl, so we found out what had happened. And she had dropped a cigarette. This is back before cell phones and stuff. She dropped a cigarette, so she was reaching down to get it, and she ran into a parked bus. Granted, she was okay. Minimal damage. She wasn't really going fast. But, you know, the point is, you take your eyes off the road for whatever reason. You drop your cigarette. When I smoke and I drop a cigarette, I make sure I kicked it out or I pulled over. Because I guess part of that is because I grew up and I seen what happened when you were drinking and driving, when you lose focus on the road, when you go too fast. I still drive fast. I don't know. I got to break that habit. And actually, I am a lot better. Everybody's sitting there laughing at me. Yeah, right. Listen, y'all have no idea how I used to drive. The way I drive now is nothing compared to, you know, watch the Indianapolis 500. Watch Daytona 500 with NASCAR. And see him getting around the last 20 laps and see how many people try to get to the front. I was that guy, beating and banging, you know. I know I'm not proud of this, but this is where I come from. This is the person that I was. This is what I overcame in my life, you know. And whatever you have, you can overcome. The last little thing I want to share with you is this. And I'm quoting this from a song. I don't own the rights. I didn't write the song. Yada yada yada. It's a great song and it makes a lot of sense. A lot of people won't like it because it's kind of rap, kind of Christian contemporary. But you know what? If you just listen to the lyrics, look up the lyrics. It's Toby Mac, Lose My Soul. And it says, I don't want to gain the world and lose my soul. It's part of the song. The name of the song is Lose My Soul. You know what? And once I started my walk with Christ and was listening to Caleb and stuff, you know, and trying to figure out now, it's like I got a bunch of songs downloaded. You're like, those aren't Christian songs. Yeah, they are. You know, I got a couple people sitting over here off camera that are like, come on, let's worship. I know you got the good songs. You know, the Creed, the 1,000-Foot Crunch, POD, 12 Stones, you know, the stuff I grew up with. And they're Christian songs. You can look up their lyrics. But the point is we can't let this material stuff overpower us. Can't consume us, can't take us over. However you want to say it. We got to break free from that. And I know everybody's thinking, well, we live in a money society and you got to live in a house and I got to have food to eat. You know what? I live in the same world that you do. This is my job right here. Okay, this is what you see on camera. Not to mention the hours that me and my wife spend on Skype, on Facebook Messenger, on the phone with all these people around the world, people here locally, going to these places, meeting these people, getting these contacts. It's not for me. It's not for us. You know what? It's for God. Because you know what? You may look at me now, and I guarantee you in 5 years you will not recognize me. Why? Because I will be that much closer to God. I will have more experience. And I'll be preaching you a different sermon. I'll even preach you the same one if you want. It doesn't matter. But the thing is I've lost all this material stuff. None of this matters. This vest doesn't matter. I like this vest. You know? My shirt, my boots, my pants, my trike, my house, electricity, my cell phone, my laptop. You know, my wife's like, you're on the laptop and your phone. Well, 9 times out of 10 when she does that, I'm actually, ministering to people, not just on Facebook laughing at people. You know, but the thing is I could do without all this. I'll tell you guys this one little quick thing, and then we're going to stop. But, I've always said for years and years and years, what this world needs is another depression. And it was kind of for grief, because I knew a lot of people couldn't handle it. A lot of people would freak out. A lot of people would die because nobody knows how to handle life without what they have. Granted, I grew up with a TV. I grew up with electricity. I grew up in a house. I grew up with running water. But you know what? I can drop that now and go live off the land. Because I can find my own running water. I can dig a hole to go to the bathroom in. I can find my own food. I can kill my own food. And sometimes it's hard not to think that we need that, because to bring everybody's focus. Because if you look at from the time of the Great Depression, probably till, I want to say probably in the 50s, nobody really worried about anything. Nobody worried about money. I mean, everybody was looking for jobs so they could feed their families and stuff. But I mean, it was simple. We didn't have all this stuff dragging us down, consuming us. We didn't have the internet. We go to restaurants and see the whole family sitting there staring at their phone. They still give me a hard time about it, but 9 times out of 10, at that point I have to minister to somebody, or somebody's asking me something. But I put it down, and we sit there and we talk. We have a rule at the house. Anytime we're eating, we don't have your cell phone. My wife would be so mad at me, her phone would be ringing. I'm like, no, you're eating, you can call them back. It's not that important. But what if it is? Then it was somebody else. It wasn't even her family. Because if it was her parents, then I could understand, go check and see what they need. But get yourself off the phone and get back here for your meeting. Because that's family time. That's the way I was raised. Every Sunday was family. We ate dinner most of the time with the family, but Sunday nights is when we came together and had a decent meal. Fried chicken, potatoes, and stuff like that. But that's when we came together as a family, instead of everybody sitting, on the couch and the chairs and stuff. We all actually sat at the table. But that's me. That's, how I am. But anyway, just remember, don't lose your soul. It doesn't matter what it is. It's not worth it. Unless it's Jesus Christ. That's worth it. With that said, everybody's over here ready to worship. I want to thank y'all, and God bless you, and good night.
Well, I've heard it said